To absorb some local color through the magic of AM radio.
Harkens me back to my youthful, careful days on the playgrounds of Forest Park School and my gifted days.
And what you're gifted, all right. What were you gifted at?
Well, I guess I had some issues.
Detention?
There. Yeah. When my dad told me I wouldn't plan on going to Harvard anytime real soon.
You're going to have to get in touch with me. We're gonna link all the volunteers via satellite cell phone so that we can put out the message immediately, because you remember the problem we had in January. We had to have Governor Walker come in with the National Guard. It was horrible.
Steve, listen to me. Bring your own microphone because you lost this one.
Okay, Captain Ron, you've been doing this so well for the last few weeks. So go ahead, make my day.
Oh, great one with the magic pen.
Oh, boy, he wants that microphone forever, doesn't he? Now, you got to visualize this. We put a statue of Pete on this. Put him wearing like a hard hat and flannel shirt, tool belt, snow shovel.
You mean like from the Village People?
Yeah, yeah. A couple of...
Now, wait a minute here.
Good morning, Kenosha. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new Kenosha Today weekly report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial, streaming live across the cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of other very fine local businesses. Joining us this morning, our co-host, fresh off a 3-hour stint on Tuesday where we filled in for the vacationing Lenny Palmer. We cannot stop him. We can only hope to contain him. The big dog, little Stevie Casey, is
Good
here.
morning, Mr. Barter.
In our Kenosha Today trolley barn. Well, have you recovered? We'll get to this in a minute. We're still here.
We're still here.
Our keys work?
When you came to the front door, I was wondering whether the locks would be changed.
Also joining us this morning, our video coordinator, Channel 14's Volunteer of the Year, Captain Ronnie Muttersbuck, joins us here at Camp Happy Face.
Good morning, Captain Ron.
Good morning.
And, as always, engineering the Kenosha State train wreck this morning, 6-time WAP Employee of the Month, also the roof inspector over at the Southport Beach House. And recently being named the new greeter over at the Keno Drive-In Theater. That's
a quiet job right now.
That's our resume to be proud of. Pistol Pete Surgeon is here in the word as ever.
Radio.
Yeah.
That's going to break down a lot of walls.
You're not supposed to say God on the radio.
Why the hell not?
You're not supposed to say hell either.
This is going to be a barren source of amusement.
Good morning, gentlemen. We made it through our fill-in
Good
stint
morning,
this week.
Pete.
And,
Yeah, let's
it was all right.
First order of business, we hope all our listeners, I guess, have recovered from our appearance here last Tuesday.
Yeah, you know what? You think I had nothing on Tuesday. I really got nothing today. I shot my wad on Tuesday.
Well,
it usually takes a week to recover.
It appears the station is now back to normal.
Such as normal is.
Yeah, do you recover from going through the scanner?
Well,
at the front desk?
you come in on a Tuesday morning, you got guys in suits walking around, and good morning, Mr. Casey, how are you? What the hell's going on? And then I brought the donuts, and she had to, sir, what's in the box?
Yes.
It's donuts in the box.
You look like a terrorist to me. He had a box of 19 glazed donuts from Oliver's.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, that's got Al-Qaeda written all over it.
You walk in here, you could shoot off a cannon in the hallway out there. Nobody's even here. This is the way it should be. Leave me alone. I don't like corporations.
Maybe when you asked the gal if you could park your Camel out in the parking lot, maybe that was the Al-Qaeda thing, the terrorists. Yeah.
Wow.
The guys in the suits, man.
Everybody walking around and talking in hushed voices. Good morning, Mr. Casey. How are you?
Why do you think I don't come in till the afternoon?
Yeah, no kidding. And they had a sales meeting. All the salespeople were here. They were all dressed up, trying to impress the boss. And
I never got over those two gals that patted me down for security reasons. In fact, I liked it. I was going to come back on Wednesday.
They never got over you either. They're in therapy as we speak.
Well, I tried to walk right past the receptionist on Tuesday morning, and she about lunged over the counter. Said, "Excuse me, sir, you have to wait here." I said, "Well, I've been here 100 times. I know where I'm going." Who are you, sir? Well, I'm Steve Casey. Who are you here to see?
Oh, wait a minute. You've been here 100 times.
Well,
that might be a stretch.
If there's been 100 shows, I've been here about 40
50,
times.
Yeah.
He knows where this is more than where the city council chamber is in that building.
Yeah.
When I got here, the first thing the gal
that.
tells me, she says, well, the bathrooms are down. She thought I was here to clean the toilet.
Yeah. You were dressed like you could clean the toilet.
Hey, but we got to thank John Perry for the envelope. We each had $1,000 cash.
Yeah, that's great. And we're donating it to our school supply fundraiser.
And I was thinking...
Which we're going to do that again, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was thinking, that prime rib all-you-could-eat buffet that they had at lunch. You guys eat like that every day, Pete, here?
You thought that was prime rib, huh?
Was it roadkill?
What he didn't see in parentheses was the not so prime. before the rib.
All I
There
can
you go.
say is they asked us if we could give them a couple hours, and we did. We gave them a couple hours of exactly what they wanted.
Well, and of course, the
Kept the
highlight
meters going.
the highlight of the show was City Administrator Frank Passetti came in, and he just he answered all the questions. Intelligent guy, certainly
Yeah.
knows what's going on in the city.
And then I listened to the WLIP news the next day, and I'm
Yeah, get a load of this. I heard it
yeah,
too.
Yeah. Oh, as told to WLIP.
Yeah, Frank Passetti, City Administrator, as told to WLIP.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't told to WLIP. It was told to Steve and Scott.
Pete, do you have any? You want to shed any light on that?
Yeah, no credit at all. As told to WLIP.
Here we are, Stevie, serious journalists, considered part of mainstream media.
Right, exactly.
And we get treated like we're some kind of dopey trolley driver.
Yeah, exactly.
For the record, when it's interviews I usually do told WLIP. So I gave you the same treatment I give myself.
No, you wouldn't have even had those
Yeah.
quotes and that news story if we hadn't gotten Frank Passetti in here. So it was all us, Pete.
You think Monday morning when Lenny gets back is going to be a problem?
Oh, there's going to be a meeting Monday afternoon. I already know that.
Well, Stevie, it's going to be. I think the
Excuse
Cubs
me,
will
sir.
have, yes.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Well, ma'am, it's donuts. Is the Oliver's sign on top of the box? Is
Oh yeah,
that
here,
correct?
look at this. Yeah.
Oh no.
By the way, speaking of donuts, Ronnie, thank you for breakfast this morning. This is very nice of you. Look at sprinkles
Unbelievable.
and
Unbelievable.
everything. Look at this. How
I tell you,
delicious
Stevie,
this
the
looks.
Cubs will have to win the World Series before we're coming back here.
Yeah, no
These
kidding.
guys.
No, I thought it was a very successful Tuesday morning and got a lot of good compliments. And like I said, unfortunately the highlight was, unfortunately for us, it was Frank Passetti.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
well, he was very good. We'll get to him in a minute, but I suppose we have. Hey, look at that little. Stevie.
imagine that.
Oh, you know who that
Only 6 callers ahead of us. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Shirley. I got to tell you, I cheated last night. Yeah. Yeah, I went. My wife was in the mood for tuna steak,
Oh, your wife was.
so I didn't. I didn't. They don't have that at Piggly Wiggly. You know that I shop at Piggly Wiggly.
I know.
You know,
so,
family-owned place. That's why I shop there.
Yep,
So
me
I had to
too.
go to Festival Foods, which is a great grocery store. Don't misunderstand me. But I bought a strip steak for myself and a tuna steak for my wife, and I cooked it on the grill last night.
Oh, that sounds great.
Oh yeah, it was a wonderful meal.
We love fish
and
on the grill.
Okay, and she made a wedge salad. You know, with the blue cheese dressing and that. You know, oh, it's very good. Yeah.
Wow.
How'd your turkey turn out?
Yeah, it's your turkey. How'd your bird turn out?
Good.
Well,
It
when did you cook a turkey?
Tuesday.
A whole turkey?
Oh, I know,
no,
Ronnie.
it was, what day did I cook it?
I get it.
Friday, I
You
think it
called
was.
into
Friday,
one of these.
Friday.
Wait a minute. You
Friday.
called into one of these other shows. So apparently this is as told to WIP.
Yeah, as told to WIP. Shirley made a turkey on Tuesday.
Yeah, I cooked it on Friday. That's what I did on Friday. Yeah,
that's
that turned
told
out
to
really
WIP.
good.
You know what? We eat a lot of turkey breast and things like that, but turkey is one of the things that people don't cook on a regular basis, and I don't know why, because it's pretty simple. You know, I mean, and you know the other thing is corned beef. You know, how
Oh, I
often do
love
you make a
corned beef.
corned beef? You make it once a year, and that's at St. Patrick's Day.
That's pretty rich, though, for my stomach.
Yeah.
I eat turkey and chicken, and I put it in a crock pot. But
Now, how big of a turkey was it? Sure.
Mine was only like 11 pounds.
Okay, well, now, tell me what you stuffed it with.
Well, I know you're going to be mad, but I didn't have any apples or oranges.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
going to
we're
try that
furious.
one day,
We
though.
are just livid. We're
Of course.
furious.
I
That's
had
the-
dressing, and my dressing turned out really good.
Well, thanks for calling the Kenosha Today cooking segment. We have a song. You got to guess this, Shirley. We're going to have to. Here's the song of the day. You got it, Pete?
I'm ready. You ready, Shirley?
You got to guess this now.
What was it, Shirley?
I hear it on the WLIP all the time.
You do, this one?
We didn't ask where you heard it. We just wanted to know if you know the name of it.
I don't know the name of it.
Actually, I don't either.
I'm asking my husband, does he? And he says, no, he doesn't either.
That's Spanish flea.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'd have never got
I would have never guessed that either, for heaven's
Never.
sake.
Oh, come on, that's great.
Spanish
Oh, for
flea.
heaven's
I've
sakes.
heard it lots of times.
Hey, how much turkey did you have left over?
Not very much.
And now we're going to start attending the
Today I'm
conversation.
going to make turkey, or tomorrow I think
know what, I'm
I
just
gotta
gonna go eat my
Piggly
other
tomorrow
donut.
and get stuff to make turkey soup.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I just want to say you guys were really good on Tuesday. Right?
Really?
But she said,
Tuesday you were on there.
Tell that to WIP. Why
But
not?
Nick and Rob were pretty good yesterday, though?
Everybody that covered Lenny was good, but it's going to be interesting to get Lenny back and see what he's going to say, where he's been and everything. And
we don't care, do we? Do we, Pete?
Not really, no.
All right, baby.
It'll be interesting, I'm telling you. No, you guys, everybody did really good.
Well, one last thing. I told you with the extra ham that we had on Easter, my wife made split pea soup. Oh, my goodness.
I make that all the time when I have ham left.
And you got to put the croutons in it, the big country-style croutons in it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, look at that, Shirley. We're all out of time.
Joe,
How about that? All right. All right.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Have a great day. Bye.
No, you cut off the conversation. We could have spoken for 20 minutes to Shirley because people are interested in different ways to cook turkey and other items.
No one's interested.
I got to tell you, when I introduced my recipe of stuffing a turkey with apples and oranges. Now, Ron, you tried it, right?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, now you do it all the time. Because if you put the stuffing in the turkey, you run the risk of drying out the turkey. That's the issue. So everybody knows that, but apparently Shirley's got a recipe that keeps the stuffing moist. Are you awake over there?
Well, are you done?
Yeah. Hey, I got something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to wish a very happy birthday to Bob Lee Sr.
Oh, okay.
We were with him last night, him and his son and a couple other friends, and had a wonderful time. He turned, I don't know if I can say his age on the, probably not say his age, but it was his birthday yesterday, and he stopped by a friend's house, and we smoked a couple of cigars and had a great, and I've got an announcement. You want me to make the announcement?
You called me 3 times last night. Send me a text. It's 8:30. I thought, your house is on fire again.
Of course, Bob Lee Sr. was instrumental in bringing the Kenosha Twins to Kenosha years ago, and, Lee Plumbing and that's helped remodel the, and do a lot of work over there at Simmons Stadium where the Kenosha Kingfish play. And Bob Lee Sr., launches into, I listen to you every now and then, Casey. It's really a show about nothing. And I said, yeah, that's exactly what it is. He says, you know what, but you ought to talk about the Kingfish a little more. And because they're very involved over there as well. I said, well, I'd love to. He says, how'd you like to have Duffy Dyer on the radio? I said, Duffy Dyer?
Right to the top, the manager.
Right to the top. He says, hey, hang on a minute. I got him on my in my contact list. So he calls Duffy Dyer in Phoenix, Arizona, the manager of the Kingfish.
Well, that's
and
of
course he's got a 30. How many years did he play in the major leagues? And he won a World Series, didn't he? Did he win with the Mets? He was a catcher.
I don't know if Pete will look it up, but he was a manager of here in Kenosha. Then I think he went on to manage in Minnesota.
He managed Minnesota for a while, the Minnesota Twins, and of course went into retirement. But they brought him out to bring a big name to manage the Kingfish.
In fact, he was on the Miracle Mets in 1969.
That's right.
Beat the Cubs for the
He's starting catcher, wasn't he?
The East Division that year. Starting catcher, yeah.
So Bob Lee Sr. calls him up. Hey, Duff. Hey, it's Bob Lee in Kenosha. Hey, I got a favor to ask you. And I'm thinking, he's talking to Duffy Dyer, and if you're a baseball fan, these are big names.
Yeah.
These are big names, just like anybody else. He says, hey, I got this guy. He's a good buddy of mine. He's got a radio show on Saturday morning, and would you like to go here, talk to him? And it puts me on the phone with Duffy Dyer. And, of course, hello, Mr. Dyer. He says, Steve, very nice to meet you. Are you a ball player? I don't know what the hell to say.
Tell him you're coming out of retirement.
I said, yeah. I played some ball when I was younger. Yeah, well, what position? Well, I didn't have the heart to tell him backstop.
Well, there's radio shows and there's radio shows.
But he said, I'd love to come on here. I'd love to talk about baseball.
He gets in town, I think you said May 21st.
I think he's coming into town May 21st. They open up that weekend, and he said, well, pick a weekend in June. Make sure we're in town.
We'll do it that first weekend and have him come in.
That's kind of huge. Duffy Dyer's one of those guys that, like I said, if you follow baseball, you certainly know who he is.
The big baseball news this week is the Milwaukee Brewers have been sold to the Kingfish, and they are now a minor league affiliate. So we got that going for us.
Well, between that and the Cubs being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs already.
The Cubs are a game over 500, son.
That's why I wore my new Cubs jersey.
I'll talk to you in September.
The Miracle Cubs, baby. Here we go.
I'll talk to you.
How about this for Duffy Dyer? In 1986, inducted into the Arizona State University Sports Hall of Fame.
There you go.
Was a coach with the Cubs, the Brewers, and the A's. Then on his pager mentions the Kenosha Twins. a couple other places. Was worked for the Padres in 07, and then Kingfish.
Well, of
in
course,
2013.
the Lee family, specifically Bob Lee Sr., was responsible for bringing baseball back to Kenosha, as you know.
Yeah.
And the Twins operated here. And it's funny, it was a fascinating conversation talking to a guy like Bob Lee Sr., who's got all that experience in baseball. And I said, what's the difference? And I didn't know this, but this will make perfect sense to you. You're a baseball guy. I said, what's the difference? Because there's a skepticism. How long can the Kingfish be successful? How long can they, keep packing the stadium and this and that? He says, Steve, it's a completely different thing. He says, back when the Twins were playing, their season would open up in the middle of April. Okay?
Right.
So they'd be playing ball when there was still cold weather and snow.
Right.
And he said, we'd play for the first 2 months, and there'd be 100 people in the stands because they'd all be wearing parkas and coats and things like that. So automatically, in the season, you were 2 months behind revenues by the time the warm weather
You had
came.
the expenses, but
You had the expenses,
there, right?
but nobody there. And he says, this is all different. The Kingfish don't open up until Memorial Day, and they only play till the middle of August.
Right.
So it's a quick season, all warm weather. People are dying to come out and watch the ball games. I think it's a formula that's going to work, and it was just fascinating to talk to a guy like Bob Lee Sr. because he's got so much experience, and of course he played minor league ball for a number of years.
He also played with Bob Euchre, I believe.
That's right. Well, and of course Bob Lee Sr.'s wife, passed away a few weeks ago, and we expressed our sympathy to him. He actually got a text. He showed me the text. He got a text from Bob Euchre.
Yeah.
Expressing his sympathy to him that he couldn't come. Yeah, isn't that something else?
You know the difference.
The guy's really connected in baseball.
I was listening to this had been a couple years ago when they had the unveiling of the Bob Euchre statue in front of Miller Park.
Sure.
So it was emceed by Bob Costas, and he said, you take then Euchre's turn. He says, I only made top money I ever made was $11,000. 13 if you count the equipment that I sold on the side, the other players' equipment. Yeah. So, that'd be great. I think.
Well, to sit here in the studio with the likes of Duffy Dyer, that's kind of exciting.
Well, maybe they could arrange to have Pete sing the national anthem, and we'll throw out the first pitch.
I'll do it. I don't know if anybody will be left in the stands by the time I get done, but we'll do it.
They're still here listening on Saturday after Tuesday.
You know what? I'm gonna broach that subject because I'm headed over to stadium when I leave here. I've got to pick up some tickets and some. They're donating some things to the Golden Strings Mother's Day brunch, which we'll talk about in a little while here.
Figure it out.
Here we're hosting a regular show on Saturday, and they pay us to come in to fill in for Lenny Palmer. Now we're going to have Duffy Dyer on the radio. What? Who the hell are we?
Come on,
the jury's still out on that.
We're local celebrity. Well, you guys are local celebrities anyway.
Hey, Stevie, there's more good news, boys and girls. Tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday, you can tune in here at WIP AM 1050 and listen to the replay of this show. We're talking before. After this show, when we're done at noon, there's a religious show, and then when we start at noon on Sunday for the replay, there's a religious show before us.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but the package us in the middle. I don't know if that's...
We're equal time for the other side.
yeah. There's
what are you talking about?
God and then there's us.
I'm very religious. You know who I enjoy watching on Sunday morning? This is kind of crazy. I get up, have a cup of coffee. Sometimes we go to church, sometimes we don't. But when I'm reading the paper in the living room, you know who I flip to? Joel Osteen.
Oh yes, he is really.
Oh, he's a dynamic speaker.
He's
he's got that church where they pack them.
The Houston,
where the Rockets used to play. Houston,
15,000 people every Sunday morning. I think he's one of the most dynamic, positive speakers. Comparable to Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And his biggest knock on him is he doesn't do a lot of theology in there, but he does.
Well,
but
he talks about the Bible, and he talks about doing the right thing.
Positive thinking.
Exactly.
People don't want theology anyway, so that's why he's so popular.
Well,
there's a connection there, I think.
Like I said, I don't know what channel it is, but he comes on at 7:30 on Sunday.
It's one of the different ones.
Yeah.
Paid broadcasting.
Yeah. So we're more than just fluff and meatloaf recipes here. We actually talk.
Which one are you?
Well, I'm certainly fluff.
I've forgotten what I was going to say here. Yeah, we better read a sponsor.
Well, yeah.
Boy, I get the place rocking.
Actually, somebody asked me one time how you spoke in tongues so eloquently, and I says, "Now he's just had a couple."
Well, should I read a sponsor here?
Yeah, go ahead.
A wrap-up production meeting at the Boathouse.
We were wrapped a little.
And placed in front of me, and they're still fresh, and they're still there, and that's where my wife and I may go tonight for the appetizer. Jim Matzer puts a platter of New Zealand green lip mussels in front of me. Fabulous. Were you there when he had those?
No. I've had those before, but I didn't have
They
them.
were fresh. You must have already left.
I left for. I don't stay out
He was
late.
preparing a sermon for this week.
Yeah, no
Yes,
kidding.
clearly,
But
yes.
I got to tell you, he bought.
I told you.
Yeah, he bought. Yeah, we
Yes,
went to
we
the
did.
boathouse. Yeah, they bought.
That's all right. I wasn't there either, Ronnie. Don't worry.
He bought 40 dozen New Zealand green lip mussels, and he put a platter out in front of me. I got to tell you, bar none, the best mussels I've ever had. I'm a big shellfish fish guy. You know, I love all kinds of shellfish, and the mussels, oh my gosh, I've never had anything like it. If you get a chance, he said they're still fresh until probably Sunday night, then he's going to freeze whatever's left. You know, but get down to the boathouse and order a platter of these mussels. My gosh.
So you polished off 40 of these deals?
No, there's a dozen on a platter.
40 dozen.
And who was I there with? I was there with our sales rep from WLIP, and David, my buddy David, showed up. Were you there when he got there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left about 5. That must have been before. Then Bjorn was there, I think.
Yeah, no, I thought you were there when he brought out the mussels.
Well, if he doesn't. No. If I was, I didn't see him. And besides, if he put a platter down in front of you, I mean,
Well,
it's all
nobody-
elbows
nobody
and-
saw him,
elbows,
yeah,
elbows,
right.
and-
I don't think Bjorn was a big fan of mussels, and David certainly wasn't, and Kerr wouldn't eat them anyway. So between Matzer and I, we polished off, I think, a dozen, and I even looked them up online. They're a specialty, New Zealand green lip mussels. If you know anything about fish,
Well, what I get, I don't get the mussels and all the other stuff. I get the fresh bologna. The ring bologna
the
that he
ring
brings
bologna.
out.
Yeah. Well,
this one.
there's plenty of that here this morning. I'll clue you.
Here's another
Also brought
sponsor.
to you by Casey Fam.
Oh, you now. If we come for the lunch, do we have to stay for the presentation?
The presentation. No.
I'm
you
sorry.
don't
What was
understand.
tap the
This
brakes?
is
What was
funny
the
thing.
presentation again?
About pre-planning.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
and the presentation comes first, then the lunch. You got to sit through my spiel.
Well, how long's that going to be?
It's about all we do is about a 20 or 25 minute
Okay,
thing. There's
so
a lot of seriously. There's a lot of questions about pre-planning and how it's done and what's involved with it. So I do this about twice a year. I sponsor a lunch. It's all on the funeral home.
Okay.
You know, just come and be our guest, and it's across from Library Park at the Historic Women's Club. And call the funeral home 653-0667 to reserve your seat.
Hey, Steve, are you looking for a sound and or video guy for the event, by the way? We'll work for food, won't you, Ronnie? Yeah.
There you
I'll
go.
park the
There you
cars.
go.
I'll park the cars and give directions.
No, you got to wear a suit.
Oh, I got suits.
You know, we dress appropriately at the funeral home and not in a Cubs jersey, for heaven's sake.
I'll get the suit I wear on my birthday. No problem.
Yeah.
Birthday suit.
Birthday suit.
Also, small talk about this pilot landing this thing in the White House.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Please do, because I've got a drop for it. I've been sitting on all
Okay.
week. I wasn't able to use.
you know, I got this guy drives this. What is this? I don't know. It's not a helicopter. Gyrocopter.
or an auto gyro.
Is it
gyrocopter.
gyrocopter?
And I
or
think Pete, you asked the question on your favorite lip-off show.
Lip-off, yeah.
And you got to why wasn't this shot down? Well, you got to ask yourself. Secret Service, 4 o'clock, happy hour, double bubble, free popcorn.
They're all at the
Secret
boathouse.
Service. Yeah. Oh, what seems to be the problem here? So, what's your drop? You got one?
I got one. Yeah.
Okay.
You ready? You want it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to send this letter to the Prussian consulate in Siam by aeromail. Am I too late for the 4:30 autogyro?
Oh, I better look in the manual.
The ignorance.
Well, it's an auto gyro.
That's priceless.
Look in the book.
Well,
That's priceless.
and the guy is 61 years old. He lives in Florida, right? And he's telling all of his friends for the last 6 months, I'm going to fly this gyrocopter onto the lawn of the White House
He
or the
told the
Capitol
Secret
building.
Service
He told
they
everybody.
met with them.
He told
Put a
everybody.
video
It was
up
on. It was up. He had this thing on YouTube. The Secret Service got a hold of him. Are you really serious about flying this thing onto the Capitol lawn? Yeah, I am. Oh, you better not do that. Okay.
Well, we
he did
told
it
him.
anyways.
Did it anyway.
Yeah.
Under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar, literally.
And then a couple other topics we'll talk when we get back about the guy that falls asleep in the cargo of the jet. How do you explain that to your boss?
Well, you know, I got to tell you, it's probably not all that difficult because I've fallen asleep a couple times here on the air.
That's
Yeah,
evident.
but this cabin isn't pressurized.
Yeah, this cabin's not pressurized. And then, time to put a woman's picture on a $20 bill. I mean, this was they're thinking about putting a picture of a woman
Well, let's
on a $20 bill.
Yeah, we can talk about politics and things like that. Talk about presidential politics.
Oh, okay. Actually, we talked presidential politics last week for about 3 or 4 minutes. Whew. Boy, it was intense.
That was intense.
I'm all set for November 2016 now. Woo.
I asked somebody in the know this week who's very involved with the Democratic Party. I said, "What's your take on this? Is it just going to be Hillary Clinton, or is somebody else going to come forward?"
We can talk about
that.
that.
Let's talk about that.
Because Marco Rubio is emerged, and we can talk about that when we first get back. Pete, we'll be back in 1 minute.
Yes.
All right. You
Show starts at 10, Scotty.
This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the Kenosha City Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. Brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. Back with us this morning in mid-season form. The big dog, little Stevie Casey, is here in our Kenosha State Trolley Barn.
I'm very happy to be here. Good morning.
Okay, you're happy to be here?
Yeah, I got a lot of things we can talk about.
Okay. Also in our Kenosha State Trolley Barn, our video coordinator, Channel 14's volunteer there, Ronnie Muttersbach, and engineering the Kenosha State Trainwreck, WIP Employee of the Month. Roof consultant to Southport Beach House, Pistol Pete Surgeon is here and in full control.
I understand the foam is holding solid up there, by the way.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Go
Yeah.
by, it looked good.
I'm going to have to apologize to you in advance.
For?
Well, to be consistent with my attendance record, I will not be here next Saturday.
Oh.
I will be on assignment. I am attending a house number placement seminar
I think
in
we're going to start
Florida.
to tear up here.
As you know, I was turned in by my former alderman, Kevin Mathewson, for not having house numbers on the front of my house. It was recommended by the city that I pursue a seminar. There's a 7-day seminar in Palm City, Florida.
Is this more of a therapy session?
I understand Kevin Mathewson may or may not be a guest speaker, but it is the placement of house numbers on the front of your house.
This is more of a therapy session.
It's more of a therapy session, and apparently the city offers it for people who don't have numbers on the front of your house.
So you have to go to Florida for this. It's not
I have
offered
to go-
anywhere in the Midwest.
No, it's not offered in Toledo. Okay. It's in Florida. So I'll be gone for a week learning the intricacies of placement of house numbers.
Do you know what your house number actually is?
Well, I think there's a 3,
Or is it a
6,
9?
a 0, and a 7.
Now-
I'm not sure in what order they should be.
There's a whole separate seminar on how to tell the 6 from the 9, correct? Like, this is a big
Right.
thing.
Well, as you know, it all stems from my alderman turning me in because I didn't have house numbers after I had my house painted.
Well, he should.
Because apparently not having house numbers on the front of a house is public enemy number 1.
Well, you are. You finally got called to task. Your reign of terror is over, Bob.
Between that, the parade issue, and not having house numbers, they're about ready to throw away the key.
Does this make you feel better?
Yeah, give him a donut.
I got a donut.
Hi, bud.
Let's take a call.
Oh, you want to do that instead? All right, let's do it.
Good morning on Kenosha today.
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Who's this?
This is Paul from Racine.
Okay, Paul, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, you've heard of First Fridays in Racine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's quite the event, I understand.
Second Saturdays in Racine.
Okay.
Okay, so Kenosha, I don't think has anything like that.
Yeah, we do. We have a second Saturday.
Well, they have a second Saturday in downtown Kenosha.
Now, you got to understand, Paul, in Kenosha, the second Saturday is usually the third Thursday of the month.
Yeah,
this is how we do things.
That was an ordinance that the council passed. Yeah, it was
Go ahead.
Or the fourth Wednesday.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hey, Paul,
only in odd-numbered months. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a certain alderman I know, who shall remain nameless, who is going to propose Cuervo Gold weekends in Kenosha.
Awesome.
And the problem was what?
Boating and drinking. That's all I've been told.
Okay.
Perhaps
Well,
you guys can follow up on that.
Really?
Oh.
Cuervo Gold weekend?
Weekends, yeah.
well, that kind of works for me. I don't drink Cuervo. Is that the brown stuff with
That's
the worm in the
tequila,
bottom?
right? That's the
And I don't
tequila.
vote, so we're in good shape.
So,
It'll keep law enforcement busy, right?
well, we want you to know that we don't condone that type of behavior.
May participate.
We
in
might
all-
participate. We don't condone it.
Hey, I got a question.
Do you think that's a good idea, though?
Do I think it's a
Oh,
good idea?
I don't know. I think
Drinking and boating and drinking.
Absolutely not, for heaven's
yeah,
sakes.
we don't condone that.
You know, the drinking takes place after the boating is done, and you're sitting on the dock having a cocktail with friends.
And we don't
Never, you know, and of course you know, Paul, and I know this is a kind of a joke, but I'm a sailor. You know,
Right.
you know, are you a power boater?
No.
Okay. Well, there's always
I
been
don't
that.
have a boat.
There's always been that unofficial friction between sailboaters and power boaters, because sailors actually have to know the rules of the water. You know, power boaters just have to have a lot of money and be able to turn the key and push go.
Here we go. Here you go, Paul. This is
Steve's theme.
This is Steve.
On the Wind Dancer.
On the Wind Prancer, yes.
So, do you loathe the power boaters?
No, not really. Although they oftentimes come a little close to the sailboat, and when they're blaring by at 20 knots, and they make pretty big wakes. You know, we're out there just trying to enjoy the water, and they hit it pretty good. You know, they hit it pretty good. But most boaters are responsible. You need to know what you're doing. Of course, there's idiots in everything, and you know that. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we try to when we sail, we try to go down the middle of the channel. You know, a little bit towards the right, so as to not to cut any of the lines of the fishermen, because there's people fishing off the pier all the time, and you know, a boating is a you know, there's a certain level of courtesy and respect involved. You know, so I'm trying to be serious, Paul.
Do you? No, I get it. I totally get it. But I got to ask you a question. Then, do you feel like Kenosha is leveraging the great natural resource of Lake Michigan?
No, that's a very good point. Absolutely not. I've said all along that Kenosha, and we talked a little bit about this with I think Passetti on Tuesday. I don't think Kenosha leverages any the resource of Lake Michigan at all. Now in Racine, you know, you go down to what's the beach down there by North Beach. Yeah. They've got volleyball tournaments. They've got a venue down there that serves beer and wine in a responsible way. That beach is always packed in the summer. You know, you get down there at all, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, now you got to visualize this. You got a little sailboat called the Wind Dancer, and then you go up against some cigar boat that says, you know, Muscle Man. What did you want the guy to say? I mean, he's embarrassed. I would.
I don't know.
No, he's
I know a couple power boaters that are good guys.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
respectful, you know.
Yeah.
It's the out-of-towners. Just blame it on the out-of-towners.
Yeah, there you go.
It's those people up from Illinois. We blame them for everything. Yeah.
Right, exactly. What would you do, though? Would you have more events down, like on Simmons Island?
Well, I've said all along, and I haven't, and I don't want to offend anybody. Even when I was on the city council, Paul, I always said I didn't see the value in the swimming pools, Anderson Park or Washington Bowl. I know that about 1,000 or 1,500 kids use that, but it's awfully expensive to operate just for the kids. I'd just as soon see the lifeguards back down on the beaches in the lifeguard stands. That may attract vendors down there. You could have some beach volleyball tournaments, things like that. Everything that Racine is doing, they got it right. You know, their North Beach is always busy, and we sail up to Racine, and you can just see the number of people on the beach and all of that down there.
Hey, Paul, when Kenosha legalizes marijuana, then it's going to be party for 365 days of the year. What do you think of that?
Then it'll be Columbia Gold Weekend.
Actually, our top 10 after the 11 o'clock hour deals with this subject. So
I put my pot out in the garage.
Yeah, surely. Did we answer your question?
No, actually, it was a very good discussion.
It was? Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
One quick question,
I hope I
Paul.
added to the discourse.
Paul, one more thing. Scott's a little confused now. When is first Saturday? Would that be on the first Saturday?
In Kenosha, this is how we do
Let
things.
me get the calendar.
Yeah.
It's on the 5th Tuesday of the month.
We have our 4th of July parade on the last Sunday in June. So, I mean,
there's got to be an app.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What's an app?
There's got to be an app that spells all that out.
Yeah, okay. All right, Paul, thanks.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.
We do have an app to report potholes now, so that's exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't understand that either.
Okay, Grandpa. Whatever.
You got an app to report potholes.
If
you're the alderman of the district, here's an idea: drive up and down the streets of your district. You'll be able to figure out where the potholes are. An app that reports potholes. If you've got an app and you're utilizing an app to report potholes, it means you're not doing enough for your constituency. Get out in the streets, for heaven's sakes. Get out from behind your Facebook page and your computer screen and get out and talk to people.
This must be automatic session 101.
You know, everybody's got a Facebook page. They stand behind the computer screen.
You know, Pete's got his own Facebook, his own text. I heard him the other day.
Yeah, we do texting here on Lip Off usually.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, for years, you know, I would walk the neighborhood. I would walk the streets. I would pound on doors. And every single campaign, I tell you, this is my favorite story. When I used to run as an alderman as a pit bull. I would be very aggressive in the campaigning, and that's why I did so well for so long. But there was one fella on 73rd Street, where I'm not going to share his name. I would pound on his door every night at 6:30, right as Wheel of Fortune was coming on. And after about the fourth time, he said, Casey, I voted for you every single time, but if you bother me again during Wheel of Fortune, I will not vote for you. So after about the fifth time pounding on his door.
Let me read a sponsor.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Let me read a sponsor. That's only about the fourth time we've heard that. Some other suggestions here, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, as you know, I don't know what happened. I actually broke 2 toilet seats in
we know what
2
happened.
weeks.
Yeah. See?
And Bob Lee Sr., of course, says to me, it's his birthday yesterday, he says, I got to tell you, Casey, I've been in business for how many years? And I don't know, when did they start their business? 1970? 30, 40 years he's been in business. I've never had anybody break a toilet seat.
Well,
that didn't happen twice.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Here's a tip that was brought in from one of our faithful listeners.
Kathy,
not a real
shout out
name.
to Kathy.
Yeah. It says you got to purchase a low flush toilet to conserve water, shower heads, and faucets. Put down the toilet seat when flushing toilet. Microparticles are released in the air when the toilet is flushed. Now, what do you say to that there, big boy? And now,
I can't hardly believe that Bob Lee Sr. has never heard of anybody breaking a toilet seat.
Did they get those steel hinges, stainless steel hinges inside?
We are good to go.
They came in.
Just making sure.
And now that the water rate's going to go up 3% on June 1st, you better start conserving.
Is it 3%?
3% on June 1st. I thought you were a news junkie. Don't you read that?
Well, they gotta pay for their water commissioners taking those junkets.
Well, I knew. I got to tell you, I've already instituted some water conservation measures over at Barter Manor. Everybody has to shower with a friend now. You have to have your own soap on a rope.
Pete,
You gotta
there he
just
goes
go in there
again.
by yourself.
We're having a nice conversation. He automatically goes to the dark side.
I'm not that.
You gravitate to the dark side.
What's
Can't we
dark
just
side
keep it
about
lighthearted and things like
what
that?
Is light
I don't care what your showering habits are. I don't.
It's
really
not a
care.
habit. It's a new ordinance.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle choice. And he demands equal rights.
Equal partners.
Equal partners.
We talked about Hillary Clinton. Now,
Why?
well, she announced, and so did Marco Rubio. Now, here's a couple things that the Obama administration. Now, you can weigh in on this. Obama wants to raise the minimum wage to $15.
Yes, that's
He's
the
going to
latest
give
one.
free tech college to anybody.
2 years of technical college,
on a low
right? Yep.
income. He's trying to exonerate 5 million illegal immigrants.
Correct.
And his proposal is to bring back more refundable tax credits. All of these are geared to what segment of the population? That's why I think Marco Rubio from the Republican side will make an excellent candidate long before Scott Walker. Who does Hillary Clinton appeal to? Go ahead.
Well, I got to tell you, she started this campaign, and what was she driving?
Scooby-Doo or
the Scooby van? It was an oversized van.
The mystery van, or
but then
mystery machine.
then all at once that didn't work out and now she's back to the private jet because she wasn't making enough, headway in the campaign. I got a question for anybody who really kind of knows politics in that. Well, what's your opinion? Is Hillary Clinton going to be the anointed one? Is it just her turn? Or are there going to be other who are the other big-name Democrats who are going to come out?
I predict there's a senator from Massachusetts. I don't know.
Is that
his name.
Elizabeth Warren?
No, Elizabeth Warren?
That's not the guy I'm thinking of. It's a guy.
You're thinking of Bernie Sanders from Vermont, then?
Vermont, okay.
Yeah.
And I think some of those people are, because you got to figure who's going to appeal. Does Scott Walker? Now, his approval rating, even though it's in Wisconsin, is down 41% and going down to can I say crapper?
You did. She just did.
Okay.
So.
Well, I did check. I don't want to make mistakes like my colleague. If you're only 41% and he's trying to cut the UW system into pieces, I just don't think he's going to be a bona fide candidate myself. But good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hi, good morning. My candidate so far is Jim Webb from Virginia.
Okay.
Is that Democrat or Republican?
He's a Democrat.
Okay.
And,
Jim Webb?
Okay, go ahead.
And he's a non-vet and very bright. And
is he in Congress?
Pardon me?
Is he in Congress?
He was a senator.
Okay.
Was a senator from Virginia.
Okay.
And very articulate. He looks like he's presidential material. You know, I mean, really, you have to admit, when you look at somebody and you think, are these people presidential material? It's just, even on the outside, before they even open up their mouth. And do they have that swagger? Do they have that demeanor? Do they know, you know, do you feel confident around them? And I do around him. I think that he's got it. I'm going to vote for him.
Is he going to announce?
I think he's going to announce soon.
Really?
I know
Okay.
I think he has just like someone was saying on there right now, that he has a Facebook page and trying to get information, trying to get backing from different people, and he's making tours to Iowa and New Hampshire and stuff.
I wasn't aware of that. I'll have to go online and gather some more information. I got a quick question for you. You sound like you know a little bit about national politics. You know, Hillary Clinton and her handlers and her people, they're trying to figure out a way to contain Bill Clinton and to keep him in the background. I think they're making a mistake. I think what you need to do is they need to embrace Bill Clinton, Hillary's husband, of course, and play off of that. You know, every time she's in front of a microphone, he should be there with her. He should be there as the cheerleader. He may bring in, because Bill Clinton was an approachable guy. Hillary Clinton doesn't have that connection with people. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that 1,000%. In fact, when you're right, when I think the second or first time Doyle was running, I was asked to stand on stage, and Clinton was there, and I got to shake his hand twice, and just couldn't get an autograph at the time, but he was there. He was the star. He's a star.
Well, he's a rock star in politics.
Oh my God! You know, Bubba's doing great, and Bubba's still.
I like Bubba.
Do you guys think it's a glass ceiling thing, though? Hillary wants to do it without her husband's help.
Well, it doesn't make any difference. She's not going to be able to do it unless.
Well, let me ask.
You know.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
To me, I didn't mean to interrupt, but to me, the whole thing, it's like Al Gore. And Al Gore had a lot of things going for him and a lot of things going against him. And one of the things that he should have done was he should have had Bubba standing nearby and patting him on the shoulder, saying, "Yep, this is going to be a great president right here." And they didn't do that. And
the Democrats should be doing that with Obama now. They're all running from Obama now, and there's they're questionable as to whether that's the right idea.
I just think that the Hillary people, and the other thing that kills me, you put her in some kind of Scooby, they call it a Scooby van. I don't even know what that is. To make her look like she's a common person.
Was
she's
she
not a
Scooby
common
snacks,
person.
or?
Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are two of the most powerful people in the world. They're rich, they're famous. He was the president, she was the first lady, a senator, and then a secretary of state. She is above the common person. Play into that, for heaven's sakes. Don't try to make yourself something that you're not.
Well, I think once the time when the debates start with the Republican Party, people have a tendency of forgetting how they are. They eat their own, and they do, and it's amazing. I watched a couple of them. I'm thinking, I'm not glad I'm not on that side, But you just keep an eye on that, and the Democrats aren't as bad. I don't know what the soft issue is here about that, but we'll keep an eye on. For me, keep an eye on them. So I enjoy your show very much.
Okay,
and thank you very much for letting me talk.
Thanks for calling.
Now we've taken a couple of really intriguing phone calls.
They must call the wrong number.
It's just not meatloaf recipes anymore.
We hit the big time.
We've taken it to the next level.
It's not meatloaf and snow plowing anymore.
And broken toilet seats. We have elevated our game.
And check writing.
I can see that. Let me read a response.
A real plus for all of Kenosha. And he's a great guy.
Some of the topics we were talking about, obviously, the Hillary Clinton is the first Democrat out of the box. But I think there's going to be many more.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of names mentioned. But
does someone Obama her again this time? Yeah. We're coming out of nowhere. Nobody's ever really heard of.
I
agree.
Well, maybe this is that web. I'm going to have to do some research on it.
I can't believe the Democrats.
What do you think? I just don't understand. Bill Clinton, whether you liked him or not, boy, he had a presence. There's no question about that. And why wouldn't you embrace that if you were a candidate, especially if you were a candidate who was afraid to make eye contact with the camera? Watch her when she's talking. She doesn't make eye contact. I
understand, but I will agree with Pete. This might be a case where she wants to do this without Bubba And I agree with you that without him, she's cooked.
I would embrace that. I would if I'm making a speech on the stump somewhere, I'd have him right next to me.
All I know is it's way too early to be talking about any of this for any of them to be announcing. The election's a year and a half away.
What do you want to talk about? Meatloaf
So much can happen.
No.
We have a mayoral election and an aldermanic election.
We can talk about that too.
I think we should eventually.
Tuesday when we had Frank Bassetti here, and we were talking about the all the road projects that are out for bid now. And he said, well, in the last number of years, the amount of money that we're spending on infrastructure and road repairs is now we're up to $3 million. They added an extra $1 million. Yeah. Pete has I hate to keep saying this, but he had a good question. Why all of a sudden, magically, after 2008, did Mayor Bosman, I think he's doing a great job, continue to increase the amount of money in the funds to infrastructure?
Because I believe that there wasn't enough money put into infrastructure improvement for the previous 16 years.
But his question is, why? Did we spend $15 million on a museum, Civil War museum, and the closest thing, battle was 1,000 miles away? We spend money on other things out of the capital improvement.
The only thing I will say is if, depending on who runs and who's a candidate for whatever, I think that the infrastructure question and the spending or lack thereof prior to 2008 will be a big issue. Again, depending on how it shakes out.
And in all fairness, Mayor Bosman hasn't made an announcement whether he's going to run again. I've been told that it'll be sometime around the 4th of July when he makes a decision.
Okay.
And if he runs again, he may or may not have opposition. And if he doesn't run, there's a lot of names out there. I mean, we can go over some of the names that I've heard, but we've got a caller coming in.
Well, we gotta hit the news here, actually.
All right. Okay. Tell this caller we'll be Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. Being brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. In our Kenosha Today trolley barn this morning, taking serious journalism
You're keeping me awake.
to an all-time high, reporting local stories, state stories spanning the globe. The big dog, little Stevie Casey, embraces our presence this morning.
Good morning again. You're keeping me awake. I'm a little tired.
Along with the always lovable Captain Ronnie Muttersbuck and the ever alert and in fully command Pistol Pete Sargent. We were talking, let me take this call and then we'll get to our top 10. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Hey, let's not forget, Summers needs these roads done, too. The city of Kenosha likes paying for our roads.
Only one district, one alderman likes that. So.
Hey, my road needs to be fixed on 9th Place. Let's get over there, Kenosha.
We're not interested.
Listen, I'm going to send some volunteers over. I'm going to pull them out of the 17th district, and we'll get them over to your street, and we'll fill the potholes anyways for you.
You got any snow left out there? Do you want us to remove?
No, but I got some nice roadkill. You know, people talk about sun-ripened tomatoes. I got ripened coon right now. It's been on the sun porch for 3 weeks. Time to make chili.
Have you, sir, can I ask you a pointed question? Have you been drinking today?
No, my name's not Scott Barter. I haven't had a drink in over
Good for you. Good for you.
Sing.
All right.
You know I'm teasing you.
No, we're not.
No, you're not.
More therapy.
You don't even know who this is, do you?
Yeah, we do. We're not going to mention your name either.
Why not? Hey, Ron, I need some help sanding some floors. What are you doing next week?
I'm busy.
Yeah. Come on now.
And I'm busy, too. Stevie's going to this convention down in...
God, you're not man enough to sand floors.
I don't have to. I get paid. God put me here. Well, I'm not really sure. It ain't to sand floors.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Carl. See you
All
later.
righty, my friend. Thank you.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about trying to legalize marijuana in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think this has some merit, though. And I'm going to tell you, this is written in our home office. On the deck at the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. Now, come on now. I put up with your business. You got to listen.
My business?
Your business.
You put up with my...
Yeah. Oh, your what was the
story
about the...
About
the guy turning you in. We've heard that about 5 times, and we got to play this
for heaven's
music.
sakes.
We all get teared up.
I still think it's funny.
Well, that's good.
It's funny looking.
Written in our home office on the deck of the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. This morning's top 10 category, the top 10 reasons why Kenosha should legalize marijuana. Number 10, a 2-ounce doobie will help superglue dry a lot faster. Number 9, allows trolley drivers to memorize the route to a full contact high. Number 8, can roll a fat boy to escape the nightmare of watching at city council meetings. Number 7, it's a lot less filling than eating 4-ounce States over Barter Manor. Number 6, get you so high off the ground there is absolutely no chance of ever breaking a toilet seat.
I knew that was coming.
Number 5, can order replacement shingles for the Southport Beach House by the kilo. Number 4, a dime bag gets you into the Kenosha Kino Drive-In Theater for free. Number 3.
That was already true.
Yeah, Governor Scott Walker arranges for us to have a new sister city in Columbia. Number 2, only way to fully understand what the Kenosha Today Show is all about, and the number 1 reason that Kenosha should legalize marijuana. Finally, it will give the ethics board something to do for the next 10 years. Oh, I love this.
All right.
Oh, that was it.
That's all you get.
Anyway, we're talking about a number of topics.
We're talking about politics and potential.
One announcement I got to make is that Ken called in he's kind of in charge of this proposed AMC museum, and they're meeting Monday, Pete, at Gateway.
Monday, I believe,
at 5 p.m. And I hope they can get this off the ground. And there's a number of good places that I think they could have this, either on
is this going to be through private funding, or are they looking for the city to?
No, I don't think.
I think they're looking for anything they can at this point. So.
Well, you know what? As long as the city keeps filling the potholes and fixing the streets. If there's extra money, sure, what the heck? Why not?
Well, we don't have any extra money, and now that we're going to lose, like Frank Passetti said, we're going to lose a chunk of probably about $3 or $4 million coming from the state if Walker cuts back some shared revenue. Times are going to be, like you said, we have to do more with less. And
well, of course, Pete was exactly right when he spoke in the last half hour about.
Right.
We're talking about presidential politics, but there's the first big election coming up is mayoral and aldermanic, and that's in about a year from now, and already there are candidates starting to line up, and it's never too early if you're an individual who's considering running for alderman. It's never too early to start asking questions and putting together a plan. And I would certainly. When I was on the council, did I tell you I was on the city council for 22 years?
It's getting harder to take every Saturday.
I actually encouraged people to run in my district because it kept my opinions and my performance honest, and it kept me accountable. People would say, well, if you're not careful, I'm going to run against you. Good, run against me. Let's see what the voters say. So it's never too early, and most aldermen should welcome opposition. I used to love running a campaign. My buddies and I would do it. It was
Forward with Casey.
It was a lot of fun, but if you're interested in running for elective office, give me a call at the planning center. I'd certainly talk to you about that and point you in the right direction. There are things you should do and things you shouldn't do. And of course, you've heard 100 names out there about potential mayoral candidates.
Well, John Antaranium has already basically told everybody that he's going to run.
Well, I'm not sure. I think
I heard it myself.
Well, if Bosman chooses, I don't think he'd run against Keith Bosman, but
not
Keith,
if you endorsed him 8 years ago.
Yeah,
it'd be hard
and
to
Keith hasn't made a decision. I don't think he's going to make a decision until about the 4th of July. But you hear names like John Antaramian, you hear John Bellotti, John Bellotti coming back. You hear I just heard this week Rob Zerbin is considering. The some of the members of the council, Dan Przanski. Has I think given it some thought. Not sure whether he's going to go. He's still in the prime of his teaching.
You know what? When Frank Passetti was here, and then I'm going to take this call. We were talking about the trolley and how we have $1 million to do the roads, $2 million to match their $8 million grant. If this engineering study comes back and it's more than that, and it has to go back to council, this could present a whole new arrangement. Because that project could be dead in the water.
Well, at that point, it becomes a political.
Well, right. Sure, and you got the common sense people sitting out there with 6,000 votes, and so anyway, let's take this call. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Hey guys, Mike Bjorn, how you doing?
Good. What's up in downtown Wilderness?
Oh, let me tell you, man, the sun is shining. We got it made and everything. Okay. But, I really like what Steve just said about if somebody's willing to run for office, come talk to Steve. You'd be glad to tell him about it and everything. I think that's so important to share knowledge like that. It's just like people that think they want to open a small business. For God's sakes, try to talk to some people, and you'll find most people are willing to talk than just going into it blind and think, you have all the answers. That's really great to talk to people. Speaking of infrastructure and millions, do you know how long we've been trying to get the parking places and the sidewalks down here, restriped. In other words, you can't. We're wasting parking in most business districts in the community because it's probably been 10 years since they've striped the streets. And it's even worse in Uptown, and it's the simplest thing in the world, and it can't be that expensive.
Well, Mike, here's the reason why they're not, because there's a potential of tearing them all out. Why would you have the expense to restripe the street and then tear it out for the...
But, Scott, the job should have been done 10 years ago.
Well, yes, I don't dispute that.
And I'm not just talking about the downtown. Look around the city, and anywhere you look, you're going to see that it's getting to the point where it's not safe when you can't see the lane you're supposed to be in. And goodness knows we have drivers that need all the help they can get. All right?
Mike, what have you done in that effort? Has the downtown bid requested that from the city, or what's the deal?
Louis has been asking every year for the 11 years he's been down here. Of late, we've been talking to Rhonda, our alderman, and she's working on it. But it just amazes me, all these millions, supposedly, that the tourists are dropping, and they can't even park without guessing where they're supposed to park in a given space. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it seems like that's a pretty simple fix, and I'm sure that Alderman Jenkins will work on that. I would think that striping, whether they're going to do a trolley expansion or not.
It's just one example of a little small issue where parking is being wasted, and you keep adding up all these little small issues, and all of a sudden, a lot of ambience of the community is gone.
Hey.
I mean, goodness knows we had enough trouble with potholes. I get all that because of winters. But something as simple as striping the streets and parking places.
Oh, we got rid of all your snow, didn't we?
Well, I got to say, you took care of that.
Hey, Mike, I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
Were you there when Matzer brought out the New Zealand green lip
brother,
mussels?
I left to come back here to Prom World, and Steve, I love shellfish. I would have beat you to the punch through that whole thing.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to understand, I don't think they're really dead, so I smother them with Tabasco sauce.
Oh, that's okay,
then
though.
I
That's
know they're really gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mike,
boys,
thanks.
Have a good time.
All right.
Yep,
Thanks
bye-bye.
for the call.
Let's read a couple sponsors before we... you read the House of Gerhardt. Can we just go through you now?
We'll take a table of 6.
We'll take a table of 6.
We'll fill it up.
Hey, have you been in the Women's Club lately? The Women's Club is all completely remodeled and redecorated. The young fella down there running the place does a wonderful job, and we're proud to be active down there.
Okay, well, we look forward to the lunch.
Well, you're not invited.
Well, I want to come and get some information in case
I want to come and get some information.
Well, what if I die? See, then you won't be laughing.
Still got a
Then
whole
it's
week.
Cha-ching. Yeah, I got a whole week.
He'll be dancing.
I'll be dancing.
So who else have you heard out there running for mayor?
I heard
Potentially.
Antiranium.
How about Dale Wambold? How about Dr. Destruction?
Well, he's got a good candidacy.
Yeah, I ran into him a couple of days ago, and I suggested he run again. He'd make it interesting.
But I did hear.
Would you consider running again?
Oh no! Come on! Hell no!
I mean, you did so well in the last two elections.
Talk about good seating at the party, man. That'd be good.
No. I like my summers off. I've been there and done that.
I got to tell you.
With barter.
Forward with barter. Yeah.
Backward with barter.
Backwards with barter.
I will tell you though, running for a public office, whether it be alderman, school board, or anything, it is a humbling experience. No
absolutely.
matter win or lose. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
And you learn who's in the know and who's kind of, I guess BS would be a.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to get involved with elected office, but this is the time the election is a year away. I'd certainly sit with anybody who's interested to kind of outline some of the do's and don'ts, and if you follow Kenosha politics, well, why not?
I hear some of the names: John Antaramian, John Bellotti. It sounds like there's going to be some throwback candidates, and people have the choice to kind of go backwards to what used to be, or moving forward and getting fresh ideas.
I told you my ideal candidate is somebody in the private sector who runs a successful business or who had run a successful business, and to run the city a little more like a business as opposed to a government.
You know what? I've heard that, Steve, and that's a great concept. However, it is a political office. Look at the 17 elected aldermen and look at the political nonsense that the selected few have done.
Right.
Yes, I think you have a business manager, Frank Passetti. But the rest is politics.
Right. So, and that's why I always said that the guy, whether it's Frank Passetti or Nick Arnold or John Serpy or Don Holland, whoever the city administrator is, they're actually the one that runs the city.
Absolutely.
The mayor is a figurehead. That's why I've always taken the position that I thought the mayoral form of government, it should be a part-time mayor and a full-time city administrator.
And that's when you would get somebody from the private sector.
Well, that's exactly what I've said.
Because they would have time to do it.
Let's just say, and I'm not even inkling, there's no inkling at all that I would run for mayor.
Oh,
Desire. No, I had no desire.
Throw the
to do
signs
that.
away, Pete.
But I'm
Oh,
I'm running.
I gotta etch out that forward on here now.
But I'm running. I'm a guy, or let's say, let's not even use me. Let's use a guy like Frank Carmichael. Let's say Frank Carmichael chose to run for mayor. He's running a successful Happenings magazine. He's got his fingers in a lot of different investments. Could he ever walk away from his business and run for mayor for 6 months and then take a leave of absence for 4 years? No, you can't do it. It's a full-time job. You can't do 2 full-time jobs. But maybe if one of them was part-time, if the mayor was only paid $30,000 a year and is a part-time position, and you show up at department head meetings on a Thursday morning and you say, look, here's point A, get me to point B. I'll be back in a week and tell me what you've accomplished.
That's not going to happen, because it went to a referendum when we had the city managers form of government in the early 50s. The unions put it to a referendum to get to the mayoral
Scott,
form.
that was 50 years ago.
60 years ago.
Well, we're going back 100 years with our trolleys. And they want to save the Kino Theater.
And
so
30 or 20 years with our mayoral candidates. Yeah, throwback city.
Backwards with Barter.
Well, I'm saying.
Forward with Casey, backwards with Barter.
Saturday morning.
Interchangeable. That's right.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't be adverse to looking at something like that. And the other thing I would think is being an alderman really can be a full-time job if you choose it to be.
Well,
I'm not advocating that, but I'm saying we don't need 17 aldermen. We maybe need 11 aldermen, refigure the city, and maybe increase their pay a little bit, because some of the bickering comes into play when you got 17 different ideas as to how to do something. It's getting to the point where it's pathetic. It really is sad.
Would we have to give this up on Saturday morning?
If
Yes. If one of you ran, yes, you would.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it runs into the FCC rules of equal time for candidates. So for every you could technically be on, but then we would have to give 2 hours to whoever was running against you. And if you have 4 people in a primary, that gets to be a lot of radio.
Well,
time,
my mind's made up. I'm out. I'm here.
Well,
I'm here. I'm not going to.
I'm out as well. I mean,
which is why I would never run for anything.
Well, and
rather do this.
No, it's for the same reason I would never run for alderman. I was the guy in that aldermanic seat for 22 years. Now it's time for somebody else. Kurt Wicklund came in. Kevin Mathewson came in. They chose not to reelect Kevin Mathewson. Now it's Kurt Wicklund. New ideas, fresh ideas. And Pete, you're absolutely right. Some of these candidates, is it going backwards or is it moving things forward?
I don't know if I ever told this. I think I've told you guys. My uncle was an alderman, Dennis Wade. I think he served with him for a few years.
You know what? I remember that now. Dennis was a great guy.
He was the interim mayor for about 6, whatever it was, when Pat Moran left.
That's correct. Oh.
And they approached him to run for mayor in 92 or whatever it was, and he was full-time at Snap-on.
Right.
So he wasn't going to give up the full-time Snap-on pension, everything else, to run for mayor.
On the outcome that you're elected.
Right, and it just was not a practical decision, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going through the same thing,
I just think by it being a full-time job, Pete, I think you eliminate a whole pool of candidates in the private sector. That's my only point, because a guy like me couldn't run for mayor if I wanted to. I'm running a business. I could never walk away from my business. Same thing with a Frank Carmichael or a Andy Paulman. Could Andy Paulman, leave Paulman, his entity to run for mayor? I mean, maybe he could. Maybe at that point, the business kind of runs itself. But especially a small business, and there are a lot of guys out there. I tell you what, if Frank Carmichael chose to run for mayor, I'd jump on his bandwagon. He's a promoter. He knows what he's doing, but it's never going to happen.
So why are we talking about it?
Right here. Sometimes, Ron, I try to take things in a direction that provides some
popping out.
sense.
You're going on this tirade.
I do feel a little red-faced.
You're going on this tirade. Your vein is popping out about this. It ain't gonna happen. So
yeah, we need to relax. Ron's right. We need to relax him a little bit.
Yeah, calm down.
Calm down.
See.
Go to your safe place. Think happy thoughts.
We were talking about. Here's another.
Quiet, I'm not done yet.
All right, no, you're done. Kenosha Unified School District mulls a safety plan, evacuation an option in addition to lockdown. They're going to come up with this plan, and I'm sure they're going to have many more meetings and so on and so forth. My question is, Columbine happened April 20th, 1999. Why are we waiting this long to come up with a plan at this point? What happened to the rest of this? This is serious stuff, but are we? Well, yeah, there's lead time, but come on. Oh, come on,
That'd be a good question that we'd have to ask Dr. Savaglio Jarvis.
Okay. Well, I thought you might have an answer that.
When we were at Bradford, they do fire drills or whatever, so we would have to evacuate the building and just go to the nearest door. Does the plan have to be any more in depth than that, or
just get the hell out, right?
Get the hell out of there.
It's the same.
Hey, come on!
Open the doors.
It's the same.
Wait, the guy with the gun is that way. I'm gonna run there. This is not difficult.
It's the same issue with the house numbers. How will the fire department know to come and put the fire?
There's flames coming out of the room.
It's the house on fire.
See, we got to do all the thinking around here.
But I got to tell you, I go back to this as well. We talk a little bit about the school, and sometimes we've criticized them. We criticize county government. But think about this. Dr. Sue Savaglio Jarvis, born and raised in Kenosha, running the schools, which is a fabulous thing. Jim Cruiser, born and raised in Kenosha. His right-hand man is Jenny Tunkeys, born and raised in Kenosha. Keith Bosman, running the city, born and raised in Kenosha. Frank Passetti still lives in the same neighborhood he was born and raised in. Those are three key branches of government, and I think that says a lot for Kenoshians. And I think when you bring in someone from the outside, and I wish government would look at more from hiring from within, anyways.
We had that problem when we went outside for superintendent of schools. That was a nightmare. Cost us $500,000. We've had bad experiences when we went outside to get fire chiefs, a couple of them.
Right.
And then we had one or two cases. One I know when we went outside to get a
you don't understand
police chief.
You don't understand the dynamics of the community. You don't understand the dynamics of politics, and sometimes that provides for a fresh start, but sometimes it's not all that good.
Look at us, born and raised. I wasn't born in Green Bay, but we were raised here.
Hell, I still live in the same neighborhood I was born and raised in.
Until your father kicked you out at $5,000 a week. That got a little steep.
But that's exactly right.
That's right.
Well,
here's the evacuation plan at Casey Estates. Here's the door. Don't let it hit you in the back, right? Hey, coming up in a couple minutes, Steve Schneider is here, and we're going to talk a little bit about, they've got some big singing thing coming up here.
Well, you are
be helpful if I read this.
Well, you are the endorsement there.
He is the ultimate promoter. We got some singing thing coming on down there.
We got to do what's a transpiring. Yeah, right.
Are you sure you want to be here, sir?
Scott's going to tap dance during the performance too. Yeah.
Hey, but we also asked. I should read. Let me read two more sponsors before.
Go to the Boathouse, go to the Sunnyside Club, go to the Broad Stop, go to some of these local places, and you get a fabulous meal at half the price.
You're packing up. Are you leaving?
Well, not yet.
Oh, son of a gun!
Scott, his face got all bright there for a second. He's like, "Yeah."
Well, I have to excuse myself in a few minutes, but
hey. I asked this question before, but I don't know if anybody answers. Is it time to put a woman on a $20 bill? I've been paying women $20 bills for a long period of time here, but do we need to put a picture?
There we
of one?
come.
Why are they picking on the $20 bill?
About once every 45 minutes, he goes to the dark side.
I'm not. Come on.
I don't really care what your personal habits are. You're flipping $20 bills to women. I don't want to hear about things like that.
If they wanted to make it appropriate, they put it on the dollar bill. Okay, I'll go there. It's fine.
See?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go.
Well,
there.
if you have a suggestion, some of our lady callers or lady listeners, or if there's a guy out there.
I'd like to take some other calls about the Hillary Clinton thing. I got to do some research on this Webb, Senator Webb. I'm gonna look him up this afternoon.
I think that's George's brother.
George.
Ooh, I like their product.
Sliders.
That's how you get my vote.
See,
sometimes it's not even worth being here.
Sometimes.
I thought it was, but we're going to talk.
Hey, I'm on my motorcycle today.
Yeah, I see that.
It's colder than hell.
Yeah, but you come in here with a sweater and Docker pants. Don't people wear? Of course, your motorcycle. What's the name of you got your Windjammer? What's the name of your boat? What's the name of your motorcycle?
Everybody knows my motorcycle. I've had it for a long time.
Do you have a name for your motorcycle?
Well, it's a Honda. It's a Honda Shadow. It's not a Harley. It looks like a Harley, but it's a Honda.
You don't look like a motorcycle.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Jacket.
I enjoy riding.
Chaps. Yeah, where's the chaps?
Chaps and some boots and some leather. Do I really look like the type of guy that would wear a leather coat and chaps?
Well, I think
he's sewing back the certain part of the chaps back on. Don't worry about it.
The pink scarf when we saw you come in was a little bit over the top. But
no, I actually had to wear a stocking cap. It's pretty darn cold wearing a motorcycle today.
Yeah, don't let the wind blow through your hair, for God's sake. Don't let that happen.
I got my hair cut yesterday. Did you notice?
I saw that. Would you go to Paul Turbino and get the little chamois buff?
Actually,
he went to the bowling alley, get it all shined out.
Actually, I had a gift certificate, so I went to Hair Unlimited.
Hair Unlimited?
Yeah, that's in the old Delafields on 75th and 23rd. You remember the Delafields Delicatessen?
Yeah. Oh.
Cut out cookies. Delafields Delicatessen.
So when you go, do you get an estimate first, or they just...
No, it was just for a buff and lube.
Sounds like my Saturday night. Hey!
Sure.
Here, talk
outside.
Talk about going dark again, for heaven's sakes. No, but a nice young lady, Mary Cruz, cut my hair, and she did a wonderful job. And
all I wanted to do was put her picture on a $20 bill.
Well, I had a gift certificate. Otherwise, I'm always at Paul Trombino's, and he knows that.
Did you leave a nice tip?
I always leave a nice tip.
That's good.
Being from the service industry, I always tip big.
Oh.
You know. Now, I don't know how I'm going to, next week when I'm in Florida, attending this house number seminar, I don't know if I'll have to tip those waitresses or not. But
well, they don't know you.
No. I'll be attending a house number placement seminar. It's a 7-day seminar sponsored by the city of Kenosha because apparently I don't know how to place my house numbers. And
this is always gut-wrenching.
I'm hoping that former Alderman Mathewson will be a guest speaker down there because he's the one that turned me in. And I love this. Who in the hell has more fun on a Saturday
They
than
will
us?
never ask us back on a Tuesday until the Cubs win the World Series. All right, let's take a break, and Steve Schneider will be back when we get back in a minute.
I'll talk to you all in 2 weeks. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Have a good trip.
On the trolley, this is the Kenosha Today Weekly Report coming to you live here at WLIP AM 1050. Brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. I'm Uncle Scotty Barter. The big dog has left the building. And joining us, along with Captain Ron Muttersbach, the ever-lovable Pistol Pete Surgeon, is Steve Schneider, who is the... What's your title, Stevie?
I am the president of the MGV Harmonia German Male Chorus.
And you're having a... you gave me this. I looked it up online today, but then I was busy packing for my trip, and I didn't get the chance to peruse this like I should have.
Okay.
But the... see, you put me here in the midweek, and I come up with all of these terms. So you got a big event coming up at Holy Rosary?
Yes, we have our 48th annual spring concert. The choir's been around since 1967. We've got some of the original members still in there. This year we're featuring Schlagerlieder, which are German popular songs. We're getting away from the Wagner and the Schubert and some of the other stuff.
Schlagerlieder, what is
We've
this?
done that.
Is that
It literally translates to hit songs.
Oh, it's not Schlager. Is that a name of a beverage, or is that a name?
No,
of
it actually means punch.
Oh,
like punch in the face.
Why would you pick that?
Like Goldschlager.
Oh, Goldschlager. Okay.
I know somebody who drinks that.
Yeah.
I see. I've seen the picture here of your guys. You got new sport coats, huh?
Yes, since
right?
we got rid of the robin's egg blue ones and went for classic gray ones. So
how many
time for
members?
upgrade.
How many members do you have?
We have 35 singers and about another 85 non-singing members. It's also a social group, so we do all kinds of social functions during the year.
That's what we have, Ronnie, a social group, right?
Yes.
I got a question for Steve. How long did you stay at the production meeting last night after I left?
Oh, the question is if you can't
Oh,
hear
not
it.
very long. So I had some other stops to make. So
now, you also are in charge of the Kemper Center, right?
not in charge of it. No.
Well,
no, I run Oktoberfest. At Kemper Center,
yeah.
Yes.
This was the place that they had. How many people did you have last year? On Oktoberfest was
about 1,500.
1,500 with 2 porta potties. So
Four.
Four. Okay, so you might want
Plus the house. Yeah.
Plus the house. Yeah. Plus the trees in the open
Right.
lot
Yeah,
there.
yeah. We've planning is already underway for this year.
Yeah.
So.
You know, when like Archie Bunker, when you drink beer, it's got to come out. You can't buy it. You should rent it, right?
Right.
And
But there will be plenty of beer at the concert also. You have
Oh,
good,
really?
Good German beer and wine, and the members also cook the same fine food that we do have at Oktoberfest at Kemper.
Are you doing this at Holy Rosary Church? In the gym?
The Petretti Gymnasium.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
on the north side of the complex there.
And it starts at 6:30.
6:30, doors
open at
open.
5:30.
Yes.
April 25th.
April 25th, 1 week from today.
And the Riverport Chorus is from the Sweet Adeline.
Sweet Adelines International.
I attended one of their places that was on. They used to meet at Wilmot at the time I went out.
Yes.
This is something. They still do that?
I think so.
Okay. Now, are you guys the comparable to the Riverport Chorus? Because
I don't want to get into that. There are guest artists, so it's, it's a totally different thing. So.
Oh no, I know there's women and there's men. I
Right,
get that part, but I was just wondering if that's.
Well, we sing more classical music. They're basically like
sweet
analogs, pop
yeah.
kind of stuff like
Okay.
more barbershop quartet type.
Now, you guys
stuff.
practice every week, or?
We do practice every week upstairs at the Knights of Columbus Hall on 23rd Avenue and 63rd Street between 23rd and 24th. We're always looking for new singers if you would be interested in singing.
The last song we sang here, Pete and I and Steve did. Grandma got run over by a trolley.
By a trolley at Christmas time, yeah.
And then I think Pat.
I was told I was the only one of the trio that was in tune. I hate to break it to you, Scotty, that I don't know how that happened.
It took 4.5 months for you to tell me that.
Well, memory's getting a little faulty.
If you don't have a photogenic memory like
no,
me,
I'm like you. I do not.
And then Pat and I did the Never Smoke Weed on the trolley again. Those were big time favorites. So.
Or with what was Flood Kyle again, right?
Well, that was where it came from. So
okay,
we cleaned it up. And so you don't have to have any formal training. You can just show up on a Tuesday or what?
Yes, just show up and we'll give you a little tryout and decide what voice you have to sing.
What key am I in, right?
Right. I was going to say our director is Dr. Richard Swordsma, who was the choral director and ran the music department at Carthage for 35 years.
So I wouldn't have to try out. Would I just have to down some Jägermeister in a beer, or do
Jägermeister?
That helps.
Jägermeister, or they would have to sing in front of the group.
Did you have a piece ready to go for your audition, Scott?
Oh no, I wasn't prepared.
You're not prepared at all?
I'll never smoke weed on the trolley again. That's about all I know right now. Right? Hired, right?
No, we just see what your what register you sing in, so we can place you tenor 1, tenor 2, baritone, or bass. So
I could probably hit them all. Bass, you got that? Here's my song.
Oh, you got yeah. Hey, we can find that for you. Sure. Yeah. It's on one of these pages here somewhere. Not that page.
Let me read a sponsor. Kenosha Academy.
Steel hinges in stock.
In stock.
All right, I have your song ready. You ready for this?
Okay, here's.
Because I'm all about that bass, no trouble.
We recorded this before the show.
That bass, no trouble.
This is my audition.
I'd say you'd be about a second tenor.
How does that go? First tenor, second tenor?
First tenor, second tenor, baritone, and bass.
So if I'm assigned to the second tenor spot, do I have to practice some to get to the number one spot?
No, you have to wear tighter underwear.
Yeah, you have to sing higher.
Number one spot. Yeah.
Oh, you guys. Now you got to. It's not taking it serious now.
I do want to mention the food after the concert.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Because we do have all homemade bratwurst, knockwurst. We make homemade potato salad right there. First thing in the morning. It's made fresh that day. Sauerkraut. Lots of good German pastries and German and domestic beer and some good German wine along with that. So you can enjoy that after the concert. And then following that, we have the Johnny Hoffman Band will provide dancing music. That's a big part of the way the German concert works. Is that
so the concert's 5 minutes and the band's a little. No, I was kidding. And tickets are $9.
Tickets are $9 at the door.
And the proceeds go where?
That's one of our fundraising efforts to, there are expenses in keeping the choir going. We do have to rent the rehearsal hall, pay our director, other things like that. So.
Okay, well, again, that's Saturday, April 25th, coming up at 6:30. Holy Rosary Church, the doors open at 5:30. Special guest of the Riverport Chorus is the Sweet Adelines. Thank you very much, International. Hey, well, there was a group that was here on 3rd Avenue. They were barbershop. You guys aren't really barbershop quartets.
No, not at all. No.
Whatever happened in that group?
Subsqua?
Yeah.
They left for Tennessee.
Okay, and the group went with them. I mean, they disbanded that group.
Right. They were basically the clearinghouse and printing plant for the barbershop, International Barbershop Quartet Association.
I'm surprised they left because I thought they cut them a pretty sweet deal here. They were down there in the Harmony. Was it Harmony Hall?
Harmony Hall.
Or they renamed.
Well, they were there, and then they moved to 80th Street and Sheridan Road in there. That's what they're.
Yeah, but that deal that they got from Harmony Hall, I mean, they just got it from back taxes years ago, right? Which was, I want to say, $75,000.
Mm-hmm.
The rug, that Persian rug in there, was valued at a couple million.
I heard a Circus Sapien told me $1 million for that thing.
Yeah, and that building, I got a tour of this. That's not open to the public anymore, is it?
No, it's a private home.
But I mean, it was built in the early 1900s. It took them a couple years, and all of that wood was hand crafted, and it was an amazing place. I think it was, I don't know how many bedrooms, 14, 15 bedrooms.
It's for sale now. You want to buy it?
How much?
I have no idea.
I'll let you know after the Powerball drawing tonight.
We might want to buy a boat and buy the Wind Prancer out and send him sailboating.
Wind Prancer 2.
Yeah, Wind Prancer 2. Yeah. And then we each get our own bikes,
Yeah.
motorcycle and,
I want an auto gyro, man. I want to fly to Washington and see what I can do.
bringing Postal to a whole new level. Yo, what about that guy? Did you see that?
Sure.
I was just saying just something about that. We were talking earlier about the guy that he announced to everybody, to include the Secret Service, that he was going to do this just to, I don't know, what was
Nah, he'll never do it.
He campaign finance reform. He had 535 letters, one for each member of Congress. You talked about, and he even mentioned the possibility of being shot down. They didn't shoot him down, which ended up being the right decision. But boy, they had no way of knowing it was the right decision ahead of time. They're very, very lucky in the whole thing.
Like I said earlier, I mean, you're talking Secret Service, 4 p.m., happy hour, double bubble, free popcorn. This is the Secret Service we're talking about. What seemed to be the problem?
And green-lipped muscles or whatever they're called.
Like green-lipped muscles. I mean, if you're Obama, you got to be pretty secure and safe in the White House. The guy can fly in under the radar and with a little... that guy could have had a bomb and
and we know you can get in the front door. They don't lock it, so.
Yep.
What else is going on in the music world? You want to talk about the golf outing?
Oh, we can do that another time. So that's.
Oh, okay. Well, it was on my sheet, and I came prepared. Let me read this last two sponsors before I forget. Milwaukee Brewers have been sold and to the Kingfish and are now a minor league affiliate of the Kenosha Kingfish. So I was wearing my Cubs jersey because everybody was worried. I couldn't find the game. It's normally on WGN yesterday, and Comcast turned out they were on Channel 7 WLS. That's the first time that
this is I think the second game they've done this year. But so the Cubs, the new owners, basically said we like money, and so we're gonna bid out our games to whoever gives us the most money, not just because we've been there for 80 zillion years. And so they have a new radio home and they have different TV outlets now. Eventually, what the Cubs are going to do, probably by like 2019 or 2020, start their own network. And then you will have Cubs TV. Like the Yankees have the Yes Network.
Oh, wow.
And then you can bring in revenues that way.
Well, they have the salary cap in baseball, which is a joke because after you get to the salary cap, you pay a luxury
tax. Is
and the Yankees are a good example. They don't care if anybody comes in Yankee Stadium. They make more money on their own TV thing, and I think the Braves and some other clubs do. And I think the guy that got kind of the real screw job yesterday was this new rookie that they brought up.
Carl Bryan. Chris Bryan. Chris Bryan is the
And then I'm going to take this call, but I want to finish this. You know what? If he's on the opening day roster, he can't be a free agent for, I think it's...
Now, because they left him down for 12 days, not till 2021.
Yeah.
Which is the end of Ryan Braun's contract.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, you know what? I think he got taken, but let's take the call. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going, man?
Well, fine. Who's this?
John.
Okay, John, what's up?
Quickly on the Cubs on Channel 7, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm cheap. I don't have cable. But I've got an antenna, and not only do they play on Channel 7, but at night on Channel 7.2, they do the Cubs replay now. So I got to watch the game over last night. Even though I was unable to listen to it on the radio, I seen the game last night.
So you don't have a dish, you just have an antenna.
I just have an antenna, and I get over 60 channels.
Well,
I'm not going to waste my money on no cable shows.
Well, I wouldn't either, but at least you're listening to this show. This cost you nothing, does it?
Oh, listen, this is, my doctor told me to listen to this stuff.
Where did he get his doctorate degree?
School of Hard Knocks.
The Casey School of Medicine, yeah.
Yeah, you're listening. Yeah. He probably was working practice out of a red panel truck down at the boathouse parking lot. So, well, I hope the therapy's working for you.
Yeah, I'll tell you how much I listen.
Okay.
It's cool that AM 1050 WLIP pulled off this week with Lenny being gone, the way it played in. It's really kind of cool because I don't know if you guys realize it, but a ton of people listen to the station.
We do. At least I do. I mean, we've been told, and And, we're trying, except from 10 to 12 on Saturdays, the audience, the listeners are pretty good.
And just remember this.
Okay.
When you get released from the House of Corrections, you get released at 2 o'clock in the morning. So watch out for Lenny.
Okay, and
Now, John, we're trying to tap down the rumors about Lenny.
Yeah, no, Lenny's coming back on Monday, and there's, if you listen to Pistol Pete here the other morning on Thursday when he had his poll questions, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I already told the boss we're gonna have to have a meeting. Bring the personnel file. It is what it is.
I think it's the best segue in the Lenny show. Listen, when Lenny does the poll questions this week and it's all about Lenny, he's going to love it.
Oh, you think so?
It's going to be must-listen Monday morning when he has to read.
What color is the sky in your world when you think he's going to love it? He's probably chopping at the bit. He's going around doing circles outside the parking lot. He can't wait to get to Pete and Dan.
They're dog meat.
We knew that already.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting come Monday morning. And
okay.
Well, all right. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Well, I didn't know. This is the first I heard about the WLS. And they have this publicized someplace on their schedules?
I would have to look at my pocket schedule, but on the website, every day they have where it's on, and I think the Kenosha News lists it. So
speaking of Ryan Braun, I think they did the same thing to him. He didn't when he first got brought
Very
up.
common.
He didn't get brought up till about May 1st. And they keep him off the roster, and they hold hostage.
But it's collectively bargained. The union agrees to this measure, so it's literally the only control the owners have anymore with the players. So if it gets negotiated out, I'm sure the union will have to compromise something else, and they may not want to do that. So
well, when we negotiate our contract, Stevie, we'll have to put something in. Free donuts.
Yeah, donuts and coffee. Well, we got the coffee.
We got a couple minutes left, but
4-ounce filet.
Pete, I got to ask you, aren't you a little apprehensive of Monday morning and what's going to happen? Because you guys were, I don't want to start nothing here, but yeah, maybe you do. You guys were kind of unmerciful with Lenny.
Well, I mean,
there's poll questions. Name some of the poll questions. Should he?
What would you change about the Lenny Palmer show? And the first answer is the host. So if you go to WLIP.com, you can vote on that one. That was Bill Lawrence started that question.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I will pass the buck to him.
Yeah.
And then the other ones, what would you change the theme song to? Stuff.
What were some of the suggestions?
Another version of Wild Thing, Crazy Train. I have to go down.
Very upbeat.
Adam's Family theme.
yeah. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. This is Dr. D. I wanted to invite you to the Dorian Gray Art Show tonight.
Okay, where's that?
It's at 5511 95th Avenue in the Industrial Park, just south of the airport.
Okay.
And it starts at 6:30. There's an event page on Facebook, and it's going to be a great show. It's free to the public. It's a juried art show along with 3 musical performances.
Hey, as long as I got you here, we were talking earlier about potential mayoral candidates. You in?
I could be. It depends. I do have a Facebook page set up for running for mayor for 2016. Okay. It's got 220-something likes on it. I'd like to see about 12,000 likes on there before I would make an announcement on the 4th of July, of course.
So if you, coincidentally, now if you are successful, are we going to just call in an airstrike on the trolley in the beach house, or how's that going to work, Doc?
Oh, no airstrikes. But we are, there was another Facebook group was started, and that was Citizens to Preserve the Shirley Call-Ins. Now, we got like 10,000 likes right off of the bat because there was rumors that she was going to be pulled off the air due to listeners' complaints. So we are having a fundraiser. She's making some brownies with some special ingredients that she uses from her garage.
I put my pot out in the garage.
Did you hear that, Doc? Here.
Yeah, I did. So the idea is to buy her a gyrocopter. So, in fact, she gets shut down. She'll be able to land on the roof of WLIP, break a hole through the wall, and then attack Lenny Palmer.
Well, I put some foam up on there, so she'll have a soft landing, just like the beach house. Don't worry. Yeah.
But a very popular group. We can't lose the historic Shirley Call-ins, and there is going to be a best of because she records every show that she calls in on.
Just her segment. Yeah.
Best of CD of Shirley, and it's going to be awesome.
Why don't you have her as your campaign manager?
No.
So wait, no,
Think it over.
now wait a minute. We have forward with Casey, backwards with Barter. Would it be sideways with Dr. Deli? What would your campaign slogan be?
Kenosha needs a doctor.
Kenosha needs a doctor.
The doctor is in the
The
house.
doctor is in.
Hey, one of the campaign questions might come up. They're trying to do this in the state legislature. Is legalize marijuana? You in?
What, to legalize marijuana?
Yeah. I know your question is. I didn't think.
A long time, so it's a ridiculous subject. America's very confused about marijuana. You know, you've got states where it's legal, and then you've got states like Wisconsin where they're cracking down.
Cracking down. Good point.
You know, I mean, it's just not fair. We're all Americans, so I wish America would make up their mind, and I think they're probably going to lean towards it being legal, and then they've got other issues. But then, you know, if you're smoking and you get pulled over, you get a DUI charge. So how are they going to regulate that into determining how much marijuana will impair you in relationship to the way alcohol does?
That's a good point.
It's a different thing.
So where are you going to make your big announcement on the 4th? On a trolley or at the boathouse or?
I'll probably in the parade.
Oh.
What better place? We got a cap. That really isn't on the 4th of July, though. I might have to rethink my strategy.
Well, there you go. See, it's always the last Sunday. I don't know what the date is. I don't have a calendar here, but it's probably what is it, Pete? Saturday's the 4th, so it's got to be the.
Let's see.
Week before.
The last Sunday in June is June 28th, and then the 4th of July is the following Saturday.
Yeah. So
I would say the 28th of June is your parade.